Hi guys, welcome to your March readings. I have a really special workshop this month that I would love to see you all at. We're going to be diving super deep into our own love souls and healing all of that generational trauma, healing the inner child wound, really learning our own unique energy signature so that we can love ourselves fully and step into our power. Come join me on March 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern. We also have an amazing t-shirt that you can remind yourself all the time how beautiful, fantastic you are. The Love Soul t-shirt. This is all available. You can register on my website, fearlessintuition.net. Click book a session and you can get the t-shirt also on the same website, fearlessintuition.net, in the merchandise section. I love you guys. Enjoy your reading. Bye. Hi guys. Welcome to your weekly energy update for the week of March 14th to March 20th. It's going to be a relatively quiet week. There's a few things that are there's a few shifts of energy that are happening, but most of the stuff that I feel like that's going to come up this week for any of us is going to be more of like a deeper under the surface kind of thing, because right on top of the surface, everything looks pretty calm. Everything looks like relatively okay and relatively calm. But there's a lot of, true to like the Piscean style, it's like squeezing the last parts of that woundedness that we have to heal. And it's not in order to make us uncomfortable, of course. Like, it's not in order to like throw us off course or make us uncomfortable. It's helping us to be stronger, because by the end of the week, we're going to be in Aries season. And so if there are things that you've been grappling with all through Pisces season, all of those 12th house, those really deep 12th house subconscious things, like I've had conversations with people, and even myself, I've recognized like falling back into old patterns, falling back into old belief systems. It's almost as if we are really like, this is our opportunity to really look at those wounds once and for all and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not something that I want to feel anymore. So I'm going to do something about it, because really all of those woundings bringing us discomfort is just showing us where we need to take accountability for our life, where we need to pay a little bit more attention. And so that's really happening, like wherever Pisces is in your chart. That was really like, mine is in the 6th house. I'm a Libra rising. So I have Pisces in the 6th house. So I had all sorts of stuff come up for health and everything, especially since my South Node is there. So wherever Pisces is sitting in your chart, and if you have any planets there, you may not have any planets or aspects that were affected, but that chart is still, that part of your chart is still was still highlighted through Pisces season. And that's how it is every single year. So this is really something that you can look at, and we come back, and when you get into self-realization and you really start to become aware and conscious of your patterns and your actions and the things that you're doing, you can look at this and be like, oh, wow. So now I know the theme that's going to come up every single year for Pisces season. When I finally realized that that was something that I needed to do in my life, because Pisces season is extremely important for all of us to go through, that healing process for all of us to go through, because we pop into Aries season and it's time to grow new things. And all of those projects that we've been trying to get off the ground through the winter time, and all of that really like stagnant energy that we went through at the end of last year, and then really feeling that pressure at the beginning of this year, all of those things that you've been wanting to do and you just haven't really felt like, I tweeted last night, I can't wait for Aries season, because once I have motivation, it's over for everyone. It's over for everyone. Because I've been the same way, where it's just like, it's like that Thomas the Train, like going up the hill, like, I think I can. I don't think it's Thomas the Train, but whatever that train is, you know what I'm talking about. So we have Mercury moving into Pisces this week. So we're all getting a little extra creative. And we're going to talk about the conjunction between Mercury and Pallas Athena that's going to be happening in Pisces. That's going to be a really interesting day. We do have Chiron aspecting. So there's this really interesting Uranus and Chiron semi-sextile that's happening. And we've sort of been under it for a while, but because they both move so slowly, so Uranus is in Taurus, Chiron is in Aries. And so a semi-sextile is like when the houses are right next to each other. And we really don't need to get like really deep into the intricate details of that, but just to let you know that there is this kind of like hovering sort of energy where people can pop off, like they can get triggered with a wound and pop off real fast. Uranus is that planet of really fast changes. I actually think Uranus is a nicer guy than Jupiter is, but that's an argument that most people don't want to have with me. So just because like Jupiter is that guy that says, if you do this, you'll get blessings, and Uranus does it too, but Uranus doesn't mask the fact that he does it. Jupiter kind of does mask the fact that he does. It's like, I would rather you just come right out and tell me the things that I got to do in order for me to get my blessings. Like, that's all I want. And Uranus is that guy. He's like, okay, let's do this, right? And then Chiron is the wounded healer. But Chiron being in Aries, we've been talking about, and it's so funny because if you think about it, the last time that Chiron was in Aries is in the 70s. So think about how odd this style was. And it was, I think it was 1977 when Chiron moved into Taurus. So like, you know, the early 70s into the mid to late 70s, the style was just weird. It was just all sorts of like, and you can tell that kind of harsh, boxy shape is sort of taking effect again. But Chiron in Aries is more of a wounded warrior energy than a wounded healer energy. It's like, I'm not going to really take anybody else's shit. I'm not really going to like just lay down and let you all just beat the crap out of me to make yourselves feel better. So there's almost this energy of like everybody's standing up for themselves right now. And cancel culture is at an all-time high, but there's a lot of people that won't there's a lot of people that will get their egos involved when they're standing up for themselves. And even when they get to the point to where, oh, wow, I really am wrong and everybody knows that I'm wrong, they still can't back down and admit it, right? And I think that's a very, like, they get very aggressive and they kind of like say things that even like get them in deeper trouble. And I'm not even talking about like on a scale that's just, you know, like your family and friends. Like, look at what's happening on television. Look at what's happening in the media. Look at what's happening in the politics right now, where people are just like, instead of trying to figure out a solution or instead of admitting when they're wrong, they're just fighting or they're stomping out or they're storming out. Like, people are just sick of like, but that's the thing, is some people need to be canceled. Not everybody. Like, I feel like that there needs to be, I don't know that there needs to be rules, but definitely boundaries. Like, especially if somebody is obviously trying to better themselves and not just like sweeping everything under the rug or not admitting what they did wrong. Anyways, my opinions. Everybody's got them, right? We also are starting this week with Mercury. Mercury went out of shadow period on Saturday the 13th. And so we're starting off this week full steam ahead. There aren't any planets that are going to be retrograde until April 27th. So now is really the time, especially as we move into Aries season, to just start getting things done. Mars is in Gemini. So this is kind of like that rocket like shooting you off into the sky, the rocket ship that's shooting you off week. We also, and then so Saturday, the sun will also be moving into Aries. So we're going to go through day by day as well. Just kind of keep in mind that everything may look really, really good on the surface this week, but there are going to be some underlying energies where people can get popped off or tipped off like really, really super fast. And you might even like be in the middle of that and go, what just, I don't even know what to think about what just happened. So just be extra cautious of what you're doing, because it really doesn't matter what everybody else is doing as long as you are focused and, you know, on what it is that your plan is on your journey. All right, so we have Sunday. The moon is moved into Aries on Saturday evening. So today on Sunday, the moon is joining Chiron. And this is kind of like a recognition. So when the moon joins Chiron, Ceres is also joining Chiron. Ceres is the asteroid that shows us how we nurture other people, or how we need to be nurtured in life, or, you know, what it is about us, what it is about that we need in order to nurture ourselves. And so there's kind of this realization on Sunday of like, am I taking care of myself? Am I allowing other people to take the energy away from me so I can't take care of myself? Like, I can't nurture myself first. Like, where am I placing my energies? It's very Six of Pentacles kind of energy, where you're like having to do that balance. Like, are you giving your energy to people, places, and things that are giving back to you? Or are you constantly giving out and nurturing other people all the time? And then this is almost like a martyr role, you know, like a Ceres conjunct Chiron, and with the moon sparking that as well. If you are the person that's giving all of your energy out to other people all the time, and you realize on Sunday something happens and it triggers you and you're like, what the hell am I doing? And you stop giving all of your energy out to everybody else, people will be like, you're going to find out real fast who your true friends are. You're going to find out real fast when they're like, what happened? I don't understand. Why did you pull, you know, why are you not like calling me or hanging out with me or whatever anymore? And you're like, I just needed a break. I just needed to take some time off. I needed to pull back. And if they take that personally, you will quickly find out who your true friends are when you start paying more attention to yourself. And dare I even say, get selfish, like allow yourself to be selfish. I think that we don't have enough of this in the world. Obviously, it's not about being so selfish that we don't care about anybody else. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stop caring about everybody else so much and start to care about yourself a little bit more. So Sunday, we're kind of getting an idea of what that looks like. The moon's also going to be sextiling Saturn. And so there's this lesson that we're having to learn when it comes to how we are emotionally giving ourselves to other people when we're not giving it back to us, right? So Monday, the moon is going to be in Aries. This is the day that we have Mercury shifting into Pisces. So we will have, the next 3 weeks are going to be really super creative, really, really getting yourself digging in deep to the imagination. A lot of intuitive insight can come out of this. If you are somebody who has your Mercury in Pisces, I would bet you're a poet, or you are, you can really do a lot of good sweet talking. If you're not a poet, you can talk people into basically anything. It may be that some people don't necessarily understand a Mercury in Pisces, and that's okay. I think that you guys are probably a little bit more colorful and imaginative than most of the world, and that's fine. You just have to understand that that's fine, and that there's nothing wrong with you just because your Mercury is in Pisces. Mercury doesn't generally do very well in Pisces, just because it's Mercury rules Virgo and rules Gemini, and those are like, they're all logic, right? And Pisces is not all logic. Pisces is more about the intuition. It's more of the feminine, whereas Mercury is more of the masculine. So, but we can be a little bit more compassionate with Mercury and Pisces. We can be a little bit more open and accepting and compassionate with Mercury and Pisces, and understand that, we're all sort of on the same stage right now, and trying to just like get through the day to day and not beat ourselves up for it. And I think that is, a Mercury in Pisces is like time period is going to give us an opportunity to sort of come together a little bit more and be a little bit more compassionate for each other. And I think that that's going to be amazing. So, but we do have, the moon is going to be in Aries, trining Juno. So Juno is the wife figure in the asteroid world. She's the one that, she's Jupiter's wife, right? So this is really about our intimate needs, right? And so when the moon is trining Juno, we're sort of a little bit more interested in what it is that we need in order to feel deeply, to feel good about ourselves, feel deeply, in a way about ourselves. And so there's, Juno's also squaring Venus. And if you are partnered with Juno squaring Venus and the moon trining Juno, this might be a time of you actually like going to your partner and being like, I sort of feel like these are the things that I need in our relationship. And like, this would be, especially with Mercury moving into Pisces, it's really good for everybody to come together and like be a little bit more expressive. You might be more timid with Mercury and Pisces if you're that type to kind of like close yourself off or be more of an introvert and not want to have those discussions. But this is really going to show you that if you feel safe within your relationship, this kind of energy, and you like going to your partner and having that discussion during that time, that things are going to really turn out well. If you're not partnered and you're single during all of this stuff is, this Juno squaring Venus and the moon trining Juno is going to give you an opportunity to show you what kind of intimacy you want out of a relationship and allow you to manifest that from a really core level. So pay attention to, and a lot of times that comes up as like a pining, like we're pining, like, oh my God, I really want somebody to like bring me breakfast in bed. I really want somebody to bring me flowers. I want somebody to sit down and have a conversation with me. I want this, I want that, or whatever, right? So this is a really good time for you to figure out what it is that you truly want, need, and desire within a relationship for yourself with those kind of transits. So yeah, Monday's going to be an interesting day, I think. Okay, so we have the moon in Taurus on Tuesday, and the moon in Taurus is going to be sextile Mercury and sextile Pallas Athena. So Mercury and Pallas are both in Pisces, of course. Pallas Athena, like we talked about last week, Pallas is the asteroid that shows us where our genius is in our chart, or shows us where we gain a lot of really good insights and can kind of like think quickly on our feet about certain aspects. So the moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus, sextile Mercury, and sextile Pallas. This is going to be a really good creative day, a really good creative vibe. And with Mercury and Pisces, the expressions that you can have, like I feel like there's going to be a lot of really great writing work that's going to come out of this week. So like if you're a poet or if you're a writer in any way, if you like write novels or you do poetry or something like that, this is going to be a really good week for you to just sit down. If you're a singer, if you're someone that like likes to write lyrics for songs, this is going to be a good week for that as well. So, and Tuesday is going to be a nice creative flow vibe. It might be a little bit, I don't know, moon in Taurus, it kind of depends on how you do with a fixed earth moon. I'm always the kind of person when anytime the moon is in a fixed sign, I just kind of am like flattened. like I'm just not going to be able to do anything for a couple of days. But, and it's not that I think that it's going to, and the moon is not moving into Taurus until like way later on, or it's like midday or something. It's after the Aries moon is void for a little while and then moves into Taurus. But, the moon in Taurus transit's a really good time to just chill and vibe. And, we're moving into springtime. So get out all those recipes that are really healthy for you and, maybe tend to your garden. But, if the weather's good, I know it's going to be like raining here in Kansas City all week, but, getting ready for next week when I can actually get my hands in the dirt. Wednesday, The moon is going to be in Taurus, squaring Saturn, squaring Jupiter. And I think that there's going to be a lot of introspection, like moments of learning that we have, that like kind of like those aha moments are going to happen this week. Wednesday is very possible with Mercury, and Pallas is going to be conjunct in Pisces. So again, Pallas is where we have that genius insight. It's where we have that spark of like a whole bunch of ideas can come out of Pallas and whatever. So having Pallas and Pisces, we have this creative genius almost that's happening right now. And then Mercury comes along and then conjuncts with Pallas and Pisces, and like away we go. Our brains are just like ready to start to be really intuitive and really creative. There's going to be a lot of psychic ability happening this week too. So if you're a part of the occult, if you do a lot of occult work, this is going to be a really good week to get a lot of that stuff done too. But we also have Mars sextiling Chiron that day. So it's going to be a nice day to challenge yourself. A nice day to challenge yourself and like overcome things. Like Wednesday's going to be that day where it's like, man, I've really been sleeping on myself for a while and I need to stop doing that. Or you could see it as you've been sleeping on yourself for a while and then just keep sleeping on yourself. I mean, it's your choice. It's like totally up to you. But this Wednesday is going to be that really great day for you to start acting on those projects or start getting them ready. Like there's sort of this ramping up energy as we get closer to Saturday when the sun moves into Aries, to be action oriented, to be a little bit more action oriented, excuse me. But really challenging yourself to overcome obstacles. That Mars sextiling Chiron is also going to be moving over into Thursday, as the moon shifts to Gemini, joining Mars. So we're still going to have that Mars trining Chiron, and then the moon shifting to Gemini, meeting up with Mars. And so there's this emotional kind of, I want to say insight, but there might be triggers. Thursday there might be some triggers, and on Friday there might be some triggers that like Pisces season is trying to squeeze those last ditch effort triggers out of us before we move into Aries. So pay attention, especially with Mars as Mars gets closer to the North Node. Pay attention to those things that are coming up. When Mars, is a sextile Chiron, pay attention to whatever triggers are getting at you, because that's going to be a really big theme for the lunar eclipse we talked about last week. The lunar eclipses that are happening this summer in Gemini and Sagittarius, and then later on in the year in Gemini and Sagittarius and Gemini. So those eclipses are going to have a theme, and with this Mars and Gemini getting closer to the North Node, that theme is going to come up as we get, and that Mars and Gemini, Mars hitting the North Node is going to happen in a couple of weeks. But really paying attention to how you are integrating the energies, and are you letting yourself work with the energies, or are you just constantly trying to battle and fight against it? So pay attention to that. Saturday, we have the sun moving into Aries. Hallelujah. And I forgot to talk about Ceres squaring Saturn. So again, Ceres is the nurturing energy in our chart. It's where we want to be nurtured. It's where we need to nurture ourselves. It's how we nurture other people. And it's going to be squaring Saturn. So things might be a little bit clumsy on Friday. So be careful with yourself. Just focus, make sure that you're paying attention to each step that you're taking. Like even slow down when it comes to like cooking dinner and stuff like that. Burns, cuts, scrapes, bruises, falls, breaks, all of that stuff can happen with Ceres square Saturn. So, and then Saturday, of course, the sun is in Aries. The moon is also going to be in Gemini. But with this sun in Aries, we are ready to jumpstart our projects. We're ready to get that fire has been sitting in our bellies for the last couple of weeks, and we're just ready to get going. So this is going to be a really interesting Aries season. I think that everybody's going to kind of starting to come out of their shells a little bit. If you recognize, how the public life, how this whole pandemic has played out, how everything we've come to this point. As we step into Aries season and get closer to the summertime, everybody is getting an opportunity to emerge a little bit more. So it's really, really interesting to watch how the astrology is playing out during this time, because it is, again, a little bit quiet on the surface, but there's a lot going on underneath that we really need to kind of pay attention to as well. So I hope you guys have a really wonderful week. I'm offering 20% off this week only to celebrate the spring equinox that's happening next Saturday. 20% off all of the astrology reports, all of the astrology services that I offer using Astro 20. That information is in the description box. If you would like to get an astrology reading from me, now is probably the time to do that. And would love to see you guys at the Love Soul Workshop. The introduction to this video talked about that. That's happening next Sunday. And this isn't going to be just another like regular self-improvement workshop. We're really going to dig deep, dive into what it takes to heal the inner child wound, dive into talking about nutritional, intuitive spirituality through your nutrition, everything to learn how to love ourselves, not just on a surface level, but really, really deep inside. There are some things that we're going to really dig into. So I hope to see you guys there. It's going to be an amazing workshop. The Love Soul Workshop, Embodying Self-Love. That's next Sunday. All of that information is in the description box. I'll see you guys for Aries readings and next week's energy update. Bye.